start at the moment when the elevator door closes and the bossa nova starts, and it's a slightly surreal situation. There's Sarko's dead body, obviously. In one corner, there's the hyperventilating figure of this ghoulish woman that was possessed by the demon mind traps. And then the camera pans from one face to the other. So what do we see when the camera points at Nida? Who's Nida and what expression does she have?
I am hunched in a corner, just like my back up against a wall, my knees up, my arms on my knees, looking for all the world with like I've got 1,000 yards.
Pocket, you are muted.
So I just realized I settled that and I was muted. So I am sitting in the corner, my back against 2 elevator walls. My knees are up and I have my arms on my knees and I'm staring at Sarko's body. And I suddenly scream, "Fuck!" And I just hang my head.
And then the camera pans over to Saffron.
I think Saffron has been very focused on like tidily gathering together the little treasure boxes and the body and kind of neatly arranging everything in a corner. And Nida's outburst kind of snaps Saffron out of this. And you just kind of see Saffron's gaze shift over to Sarko's body. And I think Saffron kind of pulls their hood of the cloak over their prairie dog head and kind of stares at the floor a little bit.
And then, Azure, you had the body of Vicar, this machine human body that is motionless. Is it? Do you still have it over your shoulder? Have you placed it in a corner?
Yeah, I still have it over my shoulder. I'm just gonna prop it up in the corner and just kind of walk over and stare at Sarko's body. I don't shocked, you know.
And you can see that Flux, the Sarko's salamander, kind of looks between you and Sarko, and then I don't know, where do you carry Cataract, your salamander?
Some sort of like 90s Marvel fanny pack kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that Flux crawls up your leg and settles next to Cataract, and they're a bit, not hugging, but whatever salamanders do to show affection.
Blinking. Acting.
And so there's this eerie atmosphere, only interrupted by Nida's outburst, and then you hear Belle's voice over the music, and she says, "Oh, Vicar's here. How is she?"
Unclear.
You tell us. How do you fire this thing up?
She was in maintenance. I'm I don't know how the maintenance went, but I cannot establish a connection. Oh my! And I sense that one of your comrades is dead.
You think? What was your first clue? The body on the floor?
Well, I have limited sensors, and I can see that only 3 of you are breathing. Well, 4 if we count the traveler.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know you only had sensors.
Well, and she goes on in a much cheery tone. Would you like to know the weather?
You know what? Sure. We'll be going outside today, so we should know the weather.
And she pauses for a moment. And I will roll a d6. Let's see. And she goes on 3 sticks, and she says, "Oh, isn't that beautiful? Waves of rainbows can be seen. It's a very, very pleasant light." And the elevator goes on, and it takes like maybe 10 minutes to reach the ground floor. And it's probably a very awkward and sad affair. But at the end, the elevator opens, and I think I assume that you carry the bodies to the autovac.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave Sarko here.
Yeah, definitely.
And so when you exit the observatory, you take a step out of you ascend the stairs for the first time, because you entered the whole complex through a different way. And when you exit the observatory, there is indeed 3 rows of rainbows over the 3 Sticks Lake. It is quiet. You don't hear the autodozer. And you can make your way to the autovac, which is guarded by I don't know. Pocket did
We left Austin's up top.
Yeah, Austin's was there, and I think your what's his name, the animatronic bear as well.
Oh, Bounty, if I remember right. 2 seconds. Yeah, Bounty. Biomechanical animatronic bear.
Yes. All right. So yeah, what do you do? It's later at the day. It's like afternoon, so it's the violet glow has gone. It is also pretty late in the year. It's the month of Unity, so it's like autumny, I would say. So it gets dark relatively early. What do you do?
I look around. Do we want to leave Sarko here? Like, bury him here or burn him on the beach, or do we want to try to take him someplace else?
My people, we have a ceremony for warriors who are lost in battle. If we want to spend some time, it takes a while. It takes a little while, but if we want to spend some time doing that, I'm happy to do it, because I think Sarko would deserve something more than just being kicked into the creek.
Absolutely. Are you talking days or weeks or hours or?
I don't know. Horst, how long will my ceremony take? I'm open to suggestions.
I don't know. It's your culture. The rest of the day, maybe.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, the idea of doing something like into the night kind of has a good feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe some kind of wake or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it ends with a Viking bear, like a Viking send off.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I figured
do
out so far.
Do you have a bow, or do you need me to light it up with my plasma sniper rifle?
The Satrap Radiant gun does start fires.
That is true.
It
A
does.
little grim, but
I mean, this is, I think, the first time that death has actually been permanent in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Satrap, we were able to recover the snail.
mhm.
With Saffron, we were able to recover the consciousness from the snail
Mm-hmm.
and find a new body.
Yeah.
So this is the first actual, character death that we've had that we couldn't undo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All that we have left is Flux, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever their weird salamander babies.
Mm-hmm. So you do find one of the canoes that some of you arrived on. Like one of the canoes is still on the beach. So how does the ceremony look like?
Right, well, first we have to start by putting together, gathering up, kindling and firewood and things like that. I go back to the truck and I go through my belongings and I pull out like 5 azure stones that are pretty big. Probably like maybe the size of a loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And I place them like I kind of create a circle shape, or we'll say for argument's sake it's like pentagram style, but it's not really a pentagram. It just kind of demarcates a circle, right? The all the kindling is in the middle, and so we bring Sarko's body, and I think maybe like we'll create like we'll get 4 sticks, or or 4 branches of a tree or something, and then tie a tarp up the top, so it's kind of like a hammock, or not a hammock, but like basically something to lay Sarko on.
Mm-hmm.
Then the flames will get to the point where it will take him. And so that takes a while to put that all together. The rocks are all arranged. I think that I start the ceremony by singing singing a song that, the song that's for warrior death,
Mm-hmm.
from the Azure cult.
Mm-hmm.
And as I sing, each one of the stones light up. And Chris, do you want to take a stab at what happens next? I'll make this collaborative so I don't showboat the whole thing.
I think each of us places something in the boat with Starco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
So like a little memento or flowers that we've gathered or things like that.
Mm-hmm. There's also the mobile that Sarko found in the gift shop.
That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
we can
Add
set
that
out
too.
some stuff.
Right. And I think while this is happening, I'm doing like, you know, some fairly occultish looking gesticulation and mumbling and chanting and things like that. You know, like there are long passages where I'm just kind of standing there, eyes closed, looking up at the sky and saying the prayers in my Azure cult secret languages.
Yeah, it's the blue tongue, the language of the blue
Yeah,
god.
the blue tongue. Exactly, that one. And you know, so the rocks start getting brighter and brighter as I continue through this ceremony. And I'll stop and I stop and I kind of explain where I'm at in the ceremony to Saffron and Nida, so it's not just me mumbling in a different language, so they know what happens. I say, this is the part where, you know, we release the soul into, you know, allow the soul to be released into whatever, the afterlife, whatever it is. The Puckett, do you want to take a turn and you know, narrate what's happening in the ceremony or whatever?
I think I'm kind of at a loss as a character because Nida is used to death on massive scales or death where you don't really have time to mourn. You know, it's either her entire culture is dead or you're in combat and you grab only the stuff that's useful and you let the body fall. And if you can go back and grab it, that's great. But otherwise, it usually just goes back to food for whatever happens to wander past. You know, you take the grenades, you take the ammo, you take the guns, you take whatever you can salvage to keep fighting. So this is all new to her. Like the idea of actively mourning someone without a clear mission in progress is unusual.
How does do the other people see that Nida is uncomfortable with this, or is it new and you adjust?
I don't think it's necessarily discomfort so much as it is, for once, she seems helpless and at a loss. Like she doesn't know what to do next. Like, you know, every other time you've seen Nida, it's just been like, okay, I know what to do next. I always know what to do next. Move forward, grab a gun, keep shooting, toss another grenade. Hey, look, let's fill up these, you know, auto wagons and get going. But in this case, you can see that she's confused and just doesn't know what to do with herself.
All right. So in order to kind of give some focus to everybody, I kind of try to incorporate them into the ritual in that I ask them to, like, you know, go get water from the lake and bring it over because we have to use it in this part of the ceremony. And then, you know, if Saffron, if you're feeling stressed out and you want to take part, we need a quote unquote guard, standing guard for the warrior before they return to the void. And
as you say that, like Nida hits the water, like anything you say needs to be done, she's on it. But she just, you know, this is one of those things where you can tell she needs instruction.
Right. So you know, basically there's a we see like some dead animal off in the, like, you know, sort of nearby, like, you know, just like a dead deer type of situation. Maybe it's more interesting looking than the deer. And I say, I need some rib bones from that over there. And I send Nida off to kind of clean the bones, kind of keep her busy for a little while. And then we bring the bones back and we add them to the funeral pyre. And we continue, you know, I continue this like really elaborate ritual, again, explaining to everybody what's happening. At the end of the ritual, like the blue stones are glowing so brightly that they are lighting up the area. Like, you know, we don't need torches or flashlights or anything like that. And it's casting this kind of blue glow, like this bright blue glow on everyone. And then, so did you say that, Puckett, did you say that Nida's gun will start a fire? Is that correct?
It will absolutely start a fire.
Okay.
The sap
So I say,
radiant
all right,
starts
you know.
fires, yeah.
Okay, and so in that case, I'll give the signal, and I'll point it over to Nida. She can fire the gun. It starts the fire. It's the fire is not regular fire though. It's actually blue fire, and it's pretty like it just kind of goes to roaring flames pretty much immediately, and it engulfs Sarko fairly quickly. And then, I continue to do my muttering and, gesticulating for, until the flames have pretty much taken Sarko and they, just ashes.
And I think before the fire is really raging, Flux hops over and spits something out. The ticker tape again, and it's difficult to see from your point of view what it is. It looks a bit like maybe code or something. And did you say that you put the body on the canoe and send it off, or is it just on the beach?
No, it was like on that cot, like that, like it was like on a it's like a princess bed, but with the bed being the top of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're not burning the canoes or anything like that. It's just like it's just like a cremation.
Mm-hmm. You can see that when the fires die down, that from the dark water emerges again the white crabs. They are far away to not being immediately that you're not immediately in danger, but they are definitely coming to the observatory again.
Let's get out of here.
So you jump inside the truck, and I think
I'm gonna bring. Before we go, I want to bring like a bucket full of Sarko's ashes with us.
Mm-hmm. And do you want to take it to the Black City, or what's the?
I want to take it with us when we head out.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of like just like some supplies I have, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. And so I think Austin's is driving, and he's driving in. He's not. He hasn't said a word after the ceremony or during the ceremony, and just we see the truck climbing up, the hill up to the road. All right, and for the first time in some sessions, we get back to the normal procedure of traveling from one point to the other. So let's see. I think you drive probably all night. Austin's is driving, and we are on the next leg of the journey. I almost forget how to do it. I haven't done it in a while. I think the first thing we do is we remove rations for everyone for a week. So 1 sack per person, and 1 sack for the autovac. Puckett, will you do the honors?
I am on that. I'm just trying to remember which tab I'm looking at here. I think it's the caravan tab, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, so
Yes.
So we're counting the 3 of us, and then Austin's.
Yes.
And then 1 for the auto wagon, correct?
And for the auto wagon.
That's 4, okay, 10. So good to go. Got that taken care of.
Then we roll for one of us has to roll for misfortune in the gall grass. So while we're traveling through the hair woods that I've I think explained, so it's these fleshy looking red stemmed trees, and they have this gray blonde hair like leaves. Until you reach, after a couple of days, a wide and high and dry valley decked in pungent yellow stalks. And it's the place where you found the purple folk who tried to settle down on the gall grass. So let's see. Saffron, would you like to make a roll a d20 and add or subtract your charisma modifier?
All right. 12 plus -1.
Mm-hmm. So over the valley, there's this weird miasma that just rolls over the landscape for days, and I don't know. Neither. It is described as a hypopsychic miasma. How does it look like? And to give you another prompt, and it is a rather depressing feeling it invokes.
And that's because the miasma, it pulls regrets out of your head, even if you haven't spoken them. And it's a lot like a cloud where people can look at the same cloud and see multiple shapes within it, but you're only going to see the shapes that you see. So what you wind up seeing as you're looking at it is things that you wish you had done differently. The people you lost, the people you tried to save and couldn't save. It looks different to each person.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, looks like a dog head.
Mm-hmm. The good thing is you do get advantage on charisma and thought tests for D4 weeks. So let me roll this for you. It is obviously, it's a 3. Nice. So for 3 weeks from now, you get advantage on charisma and thought. Thought is intelligence. And then we roll a d8 for encounters. So, Abe, would you do the honors? Would you roll a d8? I'm not sure if Abe is listening. I will just roll a d8 for you guys.
Oh, I rolled one. It didn't show up.
Oh, it did. What was the result?
I rolled it twice on accident. The first one was 3.
Okay. Oh my god. So that's not good news. What you see is You don't know how they got there so far from the lake, but so let's say it's 3 days after you left the beach, and you're in this dry valley, and you can see that behind you there are two cold worms, so the creatures that killed Sarko, pretty much the same type, and they are moving swiftly and grimly to some weird inner rhythm, obviously hunting you. What do you do?
So who wants the turret?
I mean, if Saffron...
I'll take it.
Oh, you do it.
And I'll just...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm following the draw.
I will get up onto the roof of the auto wagon and get flat, sight in, and get ready to use my sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm. And Azure, you're manning, womaning the turret.
Sorry, my computer's being slow. Yeah, I'm manning the turret. What sort of targeting capacity does it have?
It has
target and shoot.
Yeah. It does have like the normal, what's it called? Like what you would imagine. Yeah, like a normal sight. It's not like enhanced or anything.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so start chewing them up.
Yeah, when you're shooting, the others feel that the auto wagon is actually shaking from the impact. So roll your AV, Azure.
All right, 1 second. Just missed it.
Yeah, so I think it's the first time, Azure, that you shot the turret, and so you're obviously surprised about the recoil, which is actually pretty massive. And I'm not sure who's driving, but whoever's driving actually feels that the truck seems to be propelled forward a little bit. So after you hit the first worm, neither the other stops and crouches down. And I don't. Do you stop to kill the other one as well, or do you just drive on?
I'm okay with driving on.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to take the time to like scout the gall grass? Do you want to look for discoveries, or do you want to reunite with the others? Like maybe now is a good time to look at the map, which is slightly confusing, but let's see. So if you go to what is it, 270 something. Again, the map is a bit misleading, maybe, but you're at the Gall Grass, and you want eventually to reunite at the Spectrum Palace.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be two weeks from the Gullgrass to the Spectrum Palace?
Yes, and you do need to travel through the Refracting Trees.
Yeah.
Is there a
Just-
place to resupply gallgrass?
Let's see. So every location has a resting place, and sometimes it's civilized. But for the tall grass, it just says camp on the grassy fringe. And you can make a more or less safe camp, but not that there's some kind of infrastructure.
Yeah. Without going all the way around the lake first.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
So
think we would get anywhere.
yeah, you could theoretically travel back south to go to Red Bear. So Glass Bridge would be Red Bear, and Three Sticks would be the Jade Baobab.
Yeah. We've got enough for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you move on, and Azure and Nida. So I have described before that you have these, you have some kind of a rash on your neck, and it doesn't go away. In fact, you have to reduce 1 HP. And so during the week, normally you completely heal up. If you would rest, you could also heal like a stat point if you have stat damage. But Night and Azure, you don't heal.
That's not
I'm
good.
Sorry. So what's happening?
Yeah.
Did we get all of our health back or no?
No, you don't get any health back,
Okay.
and in fact, you have to remove 1 HP.
You lose a point.
Yes, you lose a
All right.
point.
What's this rash from?
Well, it emerged a couple of days after you left the Gallgrass for the first time, when you were traveling back to the Jade Baobab. That's when they after one night they just appeared. You all feel very like your mouth is super dry while staying in the Gallgrass, and the two of you have also like this neck pain, and you feel a bit exhausted. Do you do anything about it?
You know, I'd like to check out the rash on Azure's neck to see if it looks like anything that I've dealt with before.
So I can describe what you see, and then you can maybe try to use a skill or something. So what you see is there are two marks. Let's see. They are described as funny puncture marks, and they do not heal. They're evenly spaced. Gone? Okay.
I just said that bodes ill.
I'm sure it's just Bernicula.
Yeah. And Bucket, do you have? Does neither have any kind of background? Do you think applies here? I think it would be probably like a
Wisdom
yeah.
Yellowlander check.
Yeah, to see if you can glean any more information. It's not like your medical
Yeah.
knowledge, but more can you pick up something from the wounds?
Yeah, like just from the travels and things like that. Okay. So that is roll under wisdom, correct? With advantage?
Yes, equal or under.
All right. There's a 2. And another 2.
So you do think that these are bite marks, and whatever creature did the biting had thin, long teeth. And so it does seem to be, it doesn't seem to be necessarily infected. It's more like the fact that you're not healing seems to indicate something more.
Yeah. I'm going to wave Austin's over. Because, and you know, I'm also going to wave Saffron over. Maybe Saffron has something in that double prairie dog brain that might be useful.
You might be overselling my double brains.
They've got to be used for something.
Maybe. No, I can take a look. I'm good at noticing things. I might be less good at figuring out what stuff is. But
Yes.
Plus, you're the wisest of all of us.
True.
Yeah, so for noticing something, that would be wisdom. I don't think cybernetic prairie dog necessarily gives you an advantage.
No, probably not. Because that's more like, can I hear well? Can I
Yeah.
see in the dark? Yeah. Because despite my class being wise, I don't know if I'm necessarily wise in the normal usage. But yeah, we can see if I do any better. 1 second. Let's roll die. A 12.
That is a success.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how you get the information. Maybe you tell me. What gives away that probably the only way that can be fixed is by a machine parasite? Maybe something you have seen before? I don't know.
Maybe it's something about the holes themselves. Like I could imagine there is something like weirdly, not artificial's not the right word, but like the area of the wound has become like there's like some metallic nature to the hole itself, like almost like it drove plugs into their
like a drill hole or something. I like it.
And so it's like, okay, this isn't organic in the normal way. It's not like some weird, bug bit you.
Yeah.
It's like something with 2 little needles, like for a mouth, crunched down and did something.
Yes, it's too precise.
I wonder if
the good news is it's not a vampire.
Yeah, I wonder if Cataract has any like sense here also. But if you're like, hey, Cataract,
I have Flex and Cataract.
Yeah, like have your salamander like poke a wire in and give you a report, or I don't know.
You can definitely try.
Would that be possible?
You can definitely
All right.
try.
What do I roll?
I want to say
this might just go nowhere, but
Yeah.
because we kind of we got the bit of like, okay, this is something that needs specialized treatment equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on the let's keep you alive until we get to Spectrum Palace and can get real support.
Yeah, I think that there's no role involved. Cataract will. I think we have described that they like out of their paws, isn't that cataract can extend some kind of cabling.
Yes, like a USB cable.
And he would lower it into the puncture hole, and then just comes back with the again, you have this impression in your head when it communicates with you, that there's some kind of corruption, but it's not mechanical necessarily in nature.
So it's not the biomechanical corruption that we find in bones and things like that?
No. It's not a biomechanical corruption.
It's just corruption.
Yes, the information that Saffron got is that it is some kind of machine parasite, and you probably need like actual medical attention by a professional.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It's kind of related to this. In my inventory currently, I have a VC healing lotion laying around.
Yes.
Can I use that, or did I use that? Because I didn't come off the showroom floor with a VC healing lotion.
Oh, I think you got it.
I think I gave that one to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that we lent you when you were low on health, and you are still low on health. So
yeah. Oh, right. So can I use that now?
You could definitely use it. So you're applying the lotion on your skin?
Yep. I get 10 back, so I'm back up to max. So that's good.
That's really good. Okay, so you rested for probably like a day or so on the gall grass, and then you just move on. And the landscape changes. You can see from afar that on the horizon, we are in the part of the ultraviolet grasslands where the sun rises later and later. I think by now it's around noon that the sun actually comes out. But even before it, you can see this weird bended light on the horizon that seems to come from a forest. And the closer you get, the stranger these lights get. So just read out the box text because that's always fun. Light bends oddly here. The bark of the trees are coated in slimy sheen. And these trees are tree silicon symbionts, or look like it. And the light is so intense and strange that it creates these strange geometries that confuse you. Especially, it is difficult to really judge distances. Through the forest, there are these like straight paths that have been cleared probably by some kind of gigantic like harvester machines. So they're completely strange. And sorry, they are completely straight. And on your travel through this weird forest, you probably have to stick to the ditch roads. And let's see what misfortune befall you. So one misfortune that you can already sense, because I think nobody has some kind of specialized eyewear. Probably Saffron, because you have the multivision. You can probably filter out certain frequencies, but the others have to either avert their eyes or, I don't know, do you have sunglasses of some kind? Probably not. So that is one one thing that you have to fight against, is that these lights play tricks on your mind. And then, Puckett, would you roll a d20 plus or minus your charisma modifier?
All right. I don't think I actually have a charisma modifier. My charisma is 9. Yeah, 9.
Yeah. So it's just flat roll.
That's a 7.
It's a 7. Holy shit. So I don't know how that looked like for the others, but a shard of broken light. So the light obviously seems to have some material quality to it.
So it's hard light? Like it's kind of solid?
It is solid because it
Okay.
permanently lodges in one of your eyes. And it gives you disadvantage on ranged attacks. Pretty mean for a sniper. But somehow that shard allows you to be warded against illusions and optical effects. So that's what you would get advantage against.
Okay, so go through that again. It prevents. It causes. So this is permanent. I can't undo this.
Unless you get it removed somehow. It says here. I mean, I think it's not a secret that you need some kind of medical or magic attention to remove the effect. But yeah, there's this shard that is lodged into your eye, and it gives you disadvantage on range attacks and advantage on tests against illusion and optical effects. How do you react to it, Ryder? There's this weird magical lights, stuck in your eye.
Huh. And I'll look at Saffron and say, are you seeing this?
Does it hurt?
Not really, but my depth perception is off.
I mean, you are missing an eye. So, probably to be expected. Saffron is just kind of like staring and blinking a bit, like,
And I yell at Druck, "Hey, Austin's, you ever seen anything like this?"
Ouch! That looks painful.
It doesn't really hurt, though. It
looks weird. Man,
yeah, my depth perception's off, though. And, I'll pull out one of my porcelain pistols and try to shoot at a nearby tree, and it just hits a shrub.
I mean, dude, we need to get you to a doctor.
You think?
For
I
a few
mean-
reasons. Yeah.
Look at all these guns. I'm not much use if I can't aim at something.
Austin's points at the radiant gun. You might want to stick to that one.
You're
for the
right.
time being.
If I just point in the general direction with this, that's usually going to be good enough.
And make sure that I'm behind you.
Where are you right now?
He laughs.
And
Not
I
laugh.
just grin.
All right. So, Packet, can you also remove one, like the rations for this leg of the journey?
Sure thing. And how far away are we from Spectrum Run at this point?
Well, you're in the middle of the Refracting Trees. So if we go to the map, let's see.
We'll have one more week from here, Spectrum Palace.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are down to 5 gasoline slots.
Oh. Getting close. And then, Chris, Saffron, can you roll a D8 for the encounter?
Yes. Six.
Oh, that's not so bad. So on your travel through this weird, strange labyrinth of light, past the trees with silicon sheen, you come upon especially strange arrangement of flowers. They're described as chitinous flowers. And Azure, what makes them look uncanny?
Makes
Apart
it look
from
uncanny.
yes,
I think that in the center of in the center of the flower, if it was like a daffodil or something like that, instead of like the center of a flower, it's like one of those socket eyes that's like on a chameleon or something like that.
Cool.
And it moves around and it's like it's looking at stuff.
Nice.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. The
Okay.
stalk eye. Cool. Do you do anything with these flowers? Do you pick them? Do you, I don't know, search them, try to study them, or do you just move on?
I'd be tempted to try to snip a couple and bring them with.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's not every day that you see a weird crustacean-y flower that has eyeballs in the middle. Yeah.
Do you want to try to dig them up?
Like actually get roots out?
Yeah. I mean, it's not as though we're hauling much cargo in this wagon. We've got space.
Yeah, it's true. I was like, I think my brain was jumping to it, the image of Saffron going and like snipping some flowers and putting them in a vase like on the dashboard of the auto wagon, but being a little bit more botanical about it and actually taking them more like samples than decoration. Yeah, maybe I take a couple as decoration, but then I actually like dig up a couple for actual samples.
Yeah, you can write them down as a sack of chitinous flowers.
All right.
They can be a trade good, and you also have I don't know, is it like an old tin? What is the vase?
Yeah, I think it's like a spare travel cup. You know, like one of those like camp mugs that are made out of tin, and I just like pour a little bit of water in it and set them out.
Nice. And our little band of Misfits drives on with Bounty, the animatronic bear, sitting on the flatbed, and the four of you crammed in the front of the car. Do you? I mean, given that you have not many supplies, do you stay in the refracting trees and scout the area for interesting locations, or do you just travel on?
I mean, I think we want to keep going, both so that we can restock and so we can get medical attention.
Yeah, that's true. So Nida and Azure remove 1 HP again. How are you doing? I mean, Azure just took the thing, and Nida is also looking okay. Okay. So during your travel through the through this weird forest, you do see once in a while from afar, like giant, like biomechanical machines. They look like actually heavy vex that are based on some kind of animal. Neither. What kind of animal is the origin of this heavy vac?
Nida wouldn't know this, but if we were looking at it, we'd clearly see that it was one of the big, megafauna from like the Triassic period, or from basically it looks like a dinosaur. It's like an apatosaurus. It's so we're talking huge megafauna.
Mm-hmm.
But Nida wouldn't have any frame of reference for this.
Yeah, but it's definitely like a biomechanical. It's not a burden. It could be a burden beast that was supposed to like drag something, or carry something. But it could also be like something that would carry passengers inside. But my follow-up question is, how can you see that they are corrupted by phosphor ghosts? Is it the eyes?
Wait, you said phosphor ghosts?
Yes. That's what I said.
And these vehicles, the giant biomechanical beasts are corrupted, correct?
Mm-hmm. Is it like the ghosts riding them? Is it circling them?
There's an aura around them that has no other explanation besides ghosts.
And I wouldn't be surprised that Nida can see it because of the hard light that is lodged in her eyes. Nice.
And there's like this kind of like almost heat waves, but there's a glow to it, and it's golden.
And you can see them from really afar because they are so incredibly big. You can also see almost when you left the forest, it looks like an ancient Walker fueling station. So like a gasoline station. It has some kind of hoses that you can attach to the walkers, and it's obviously pretty tall, but it's overgrown by columns of mushroom bodies, and they have fused together so that they form like a roof. But all this is pretty far away, and we exit the forest. Let's see. let's have a look at the map. I think we approach the Spectrum Palace. So again, let's remove. Is it 5 sacks? The 4 of you and 1 for the.
One for the auto wagon.
And so, as you can see on the map, maybe a little bit, the landscape to the south is much more hilly, and we're leaving a little bit the flats of the gall grass and the refracting trees. And before you in the distance, you can see a surprisingly small drum-shaped thing of dull metal and rivets, 30 meters lengthwise and across, and 100 meters around, in the shallow saddle between 2 unremarkable hills.
You know,
Mhm.
really quick, I'd like to go ahead and heal up because this looks strange enough that I want to make sure I'm at max hit points or close to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can also make camp before you. Yeah, I mean, scout ahead if you want, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to enter the place right away.
So it's not in the roadway?
No, it's well, the road passes it.
Define passes. How close? Like, is it going to be like 100 feet off the road, quarter mile?
No, more like 100 feet, maybe.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I should be using meters for this. Like, you know, is it like a kilometer off the road? Is it like, you know, 100 meters or?
Yeah, it's probably more. It's much closer.
Okay.
But
the distance of a football field.
You can see that above the so there's something that gives away that this is the Spectrum Palace, and that is there's an aurora above the construction. So when you arrive, it's late in the day, almost night. It's this localized aurora light that lights the sky above this building. That is otherwise relatively unremarkable.
Wait, is this run or palace?
It looks like the Spectrum Palace.
Okay, because you said Spectrum Run. So
I'm sorry. Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
That's why I was double checking. Thanks.
And so let's see. So there is a camp next to the building. And there are, from what you can see, there are like 24 people, some of them in what looks like ceremonial gear. So they seem to be some kind of religious people, but not any religion that you have seen before. You can see like a flock of sheep in the distance, and that's about it. So what do you do?
I'm going to pull out my rifle and just look through the scope at everything.
Through your scope, you can see that there are other caravans in the camp that are being attended by these robed figures, and the people in robes, they seem to be very how to say, like energetic in what they do. So they talk to the people in the caravans They show them around. They have like oddly smiling faces, all of them.
Right.
You don't spot, I mean, you are obviously trained in these things. You don't sense any kind of hostility.
Yeah. What I'm looking for is, do I see our caravan, the trucks we sent ahead?
Oh, obviously, yes. You
Okay.
see two. You see the bone caravan and the the big dwarven truck.
Yep.
So let me describe the scene a little bit, and then you tell me what you do. Where even to start, man? So I described the two hills and this drum-shaped building in the middle. Neither you see I mean, all of you see that there's a wall of rainbows that so that there's an entrance to the south of the building. But Saffron and Azure see just like this wall of rainbows. But neither you see that there is like a clear path leading through this folded rainbows that guard the entrance. There are the two hills that are described. One hill on the right of the palace has these weirded roped figures. The standing next to a glass plate, like a bare glass plate that covers the peak of the hill, and these I call them ecstatics. These rope figures polish the glass, and then the other hill. Let's see. To the left of the palace, there's a goat trail that leads up to it. There are thorn bushes, and there are stubs of some kind of antenna structure, maybe something like pylons or transmitters that hum and spark. And they have other people in robes with feathers adorned to their clothes that stand in, I don't know, maybe in some kind of ceremony. The palace itself, as I said, is relatively looks relatively plain. A single metal drum, and then there's also a boxed canyon. Where did I see that? Hold on a second. Yeah, there's a small box canyon between the two hills, filled and leveled with packed earth, and on it there are grass huts and wicker shelter houses. Oh, I think we lost someone. I think we lost Abe. And then to finish this off, there is the camp with the caravans, and you can also see pastel servitors that has 3 arms that maintain the buildings where the people in the caravan probably sleep. Oh, there's Azure again. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. What do you do?
probably try
I
to.
missed entirely all of it.
So to the short, the long of the short, or whatever you call it, there are two hills. One hill has some kind of antenna structures on top of it that hum the whole time and spark. And the other hill has a glass plate that is attended to by robed figures. And then there's the
Cool.
camp where your caravans are, your caravans and other caravans, and more of these robed figures. But there are also three-legged creature that attend to wicker huts that are between the palace and the buildings where the caravans are. And the buildings that are they come from different eras, from different epochs, and have different styles.
I look at Ajax and say, "What do you say we get you some meat?"
Right on.
I will head in looking to get fresh meat for this cat because Ajax has been a very long-suffering companion.
And so you approach the caravans and these buildings in different styles, and you are greeted by what was the name? The leader of the Greenlanders that you didn't you send them with the caravan ahead?
We did.
And she approaches you and greets you, and she says, "I'm so glad that you made it. How was your journey?"
Eventful. But we're here. Most of us, anyway.
Yeah, we try to settle in here as well. I'm not sure if we will find work here, though, so we might have to move on. But it's good to see you back.
You as well.
And I think that you can, like some of the other caravans have their wares like displayed, and I think you can get Ajax some food. You are approached by one of these robed figures, and they have, like, probably while you're feeding Ajax, and they have this weird, the look of, I don't know, the look of people who are disciples of some kind of religion, like somebody who wants to tell you about Jesus. Like
or
smiling.
Jehovah or whoever.
Oh yeah, exactly. Jehovah's Witnesses. So they are, I don't know, they're full of the light. And there's one of the smiling women, and she approaches you, and she says, "May the light be with you."
What light is this?
Oh, it's the prismatic light of the satraps.
Oh. Is she a satrap herself?
No, she's a human. You want to say maybe like a rainbow lander, obviously, but there's something weird about her, apart from constantly smiling, which is, it seems as if there's some kind of crystal growth on her head.
A crystal growth on her head.
Mm-hmm.
I look over at Nida and I'm like, you already have some light in you, don't you?
Oh, I have all the light in me.
I mean, specifically gesture toward your eye.
And just to mess with poor Saffron, I look at Saffron, I kind of tilt my head to one side and say, "What are you talking about, Saffron?"
I just kind of glare at you a little bit.
And I just laugh and I say, after all we've been through, I am really glad to be back in a location where we can get Ajax some meat and I can get glared at by a prairie dog with 2 brains. Things are starting to make sense again.
Mm-hmm.
And
You should do something about that. So, maybe.
okay, and the satrap, the servant, I would say, she says, well, we need to get you a place to stay, don't we?
I need several things. Are you here to help us? Do you help the satraps? Do you assist with traders? What is it exactly that you do here?
Oh, I'm just a humble servant, just for you to help you feel at home. It does cost 20 a week, but it's well worth it.
Okay. So I need several things. And I just start rattling off the list at her.
Mm-hmm. She has like this absent look in her face when you tell your demands, and in every small break that you take to just breathe, she will try to sneak in like some sermon about the satraps and the light and the return of the one and the end of history. But what is your demands, or what is it that you want?
Well, I mean, it's not demand so much as it is. It's like, where can I find this? Is this here? So medical care to get this shard removed from my eye. A crafter to get this shard turned into some sort of optic, like a monocle or something along those lines. We need to restock on food, gasoline, supplies. I need to restock on ammo. Do you have any grenades available? Also, and this is the bit I finish with, and I hold up the crystal snail and say, this belonged to a friend of mine named Satrap 88, and it contains some of their memories. I would like to make sure that I get it back to them in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just updating whatever it is that the satraps use so that they can have these memories.
So her expression changed from this, ecstatic grinning to, I don't know, being curious about the shard in your eye, and she gets closer and looks at it. It's a sign. It's a sign that you can see the light. And then, gone.
I can see many lights through it, in fact.
Maybe you're blessed. Maybe you're chosen.
I am a sniper, and this is hindering my ability to see things at range. This is why I would like it turned into a monocle, because I'm not trying to remove the blessing completely. I just need to restore my vision so that I can fulfill my purpose.
Maybe your purpose is to see the light.
That doesn't help me shoot things.
Well, why do you want to shoot things?
And I sigh and kind of lower my head, and I look over at Austin to see if Austin has any advice to try to explain the Legion of the Farsight to this individual who seems to have a different opinion of things.
Austin has the impression of someone who is trying to look as if they are listening, but not listening. Like he's nodding and the light and like murmuring something, but doesn't seem to make any attempt to actually understand what she's saying. But when you mention the satrap, the snail, she takes, she bows deeply and extends her hands as if to receive some, I don't know, some what's it called, the holy bread.
Communion.
Yes.
And thinking that she wants the snail, I'll hold it up and say, "You're going to bring this back to me when you've taken the memories and the information off of it, correct?"
Yes, of course. I will also see if we can find somebody who tend to your eye.
And other than that, I just need supplies, basic supplies, healing lotions. We need to restock food. We need to restock on fuel. And did I mention grenades?
So she looks a bit scornful, and she says, "I think what you need is, we have to address the hunger of your soul. You're only talking about the needs of your body and physical things, outer things, but you need to take in the light."
At which I will sigh. And I'll say, "By any chance, is there a satrap around that I could speak with?"
All the satraps will be at the palace. Given that you have a deep connection to Satrap 88, I might be able to contact one of the 5.
I would appreciate that.
And she bows again. She gestures towards one of the buildings, and then she exits. So there, as I said, there are buildings from different eras, and I think she pointed towards like an especially. I don't. Do you know the Bauhaus style? It's like this.
Are you kidding me? Form follows function. Everything's white, glass, black, Mies van der Rohe. A little bit, yeah.
So it is a cube, more or less, with some big windows and an asymmetric straight staircase on the side.
I was just gonna, like, Saffron was just gonna walk over to the two of you, like, put a hand on your shoulder and be like, also, please don't forget that you have, like, this weird bite in your neck that is causing you to slowly die.